NAMM 2018. We're here at the Doepfer booth and we're speaking with Dieter Doepfer. You are considered to be a pioneer, one of the pioneers of modular synthesis. Could you tell us about your background?
Yeah, I studied physics, and at the end of the studies I had to decide what to do. So one idea was to go to the industry or something like that, but I said no, that's not really what I want to do. And during the studies I made a lot of music and already designed some small electronic circuits, and so after the end of the studies I decided to do something on my own, and so it began everything.
Well, from a few electronic circuits to this, and maybe you could pan over this and have a look at it. It is rather impressive. Can you tell us about the philosophy behind your synthesis?
Yeah, I think the main philosophy is to make a modular synthesizer affordable with high quality. That was the main idea behind everything, because there were modular synths available, but they were far too expensive for most musicians. And I said it should be possible to offer something similar at a much lower price. And I think this was a good idea, and as you can see, it worked after all. Not only for us, but also for a lot of other manufacturers also.
So you have, you said high quality, and one thing that really stands out is the quality of construction. Everything looks beautifully made. Could you talk about the manufacturing process?
Yeah, in the meantime we do no longer manufacture ourselves, but of course the first 15 years or so we manufactured everything in-house, and from the very first products we made, we also made a lot of mistakes, and we learned a lot from other products where we used potentiometers without metal shafts, with plastic shafts, and without threads and so on. And so we said, okay, we will not do these mistakes again with the A100 modular system. So we started from the beginning with high quality potentiometers, high quality sockets, high quality switches, front panels. So it's very important that the user interface, and that's the sockets, the potentiometers, switches, and is very important. After all, if you look behind the front panel, the electronics is nearly the same for many different modules or different manufacturers. But the main difference is the user interface, which has to be very rugged. You have solid knobs and solid switches. That's very important, because we do not want that the customer throw it away after 1 or 2 or 3 years. We want to have that they use it for 10 or 20 years or even more.
Well, you were talking about the user interface. I think one of the things about analog synthesis is that it corresponds to the intuitive impulse of the artist to just reach to a knob or to insert a patch, to connect things almost without thinking, just on the basis of your sort of intuitive belief that, oh, these might sound interesting together. Am I right about that?
Yeah, of course, definitely. I always say the main difference between the modular synthesizer and another instrument is that you have to build your instrument before you can start. If you have a guitar, if you have a violin, you can start playing. If you have a modular synth, at first you have to collect the modules you want to have, then you have to patch it in the way you want to use it, and after this you can start making music. So it's totally different compared to other instruments, because you have to build your instrument before you are able to start.
So what that means for the musical artist or the sound designer is that you have the ability to create something that is very individual and unique.
Yeah, definitely. It's if you select the right modules, you will be able to generate sounds which are not possible in other ways. So yeah, that's the main difference. It's a total different process compared to other instruments, because you have to design the sound before you start playing. That's the main difference. Yeah.
Now, am I right that you are the creator of the rack format that is used not in modern?
Not really. In Germany, this the mechanical standard, which you see here, was already a standard. It was not. It was not designed by me. During my studies, all the measuring equipment we had was already.
It's something you would use in a laboratory.
Yeah, it was used in a laboratory.
So you use it for a musical application.
Yeah, but you have to distinguish between the mechanical part. That's what you see if you look at it. This was already a standard at this time, but everything behind, that means the bus boards and the type of connecting modules to bus boards and the bus board design and so on. This was made by us. The mechanical standard was already available at the time.
Now, is it possible for someone to create from beginning to end a fantastically flexible and individual modular based synthesizer just from Doepfer components?
To speak the truth, we do not offer all functions which are offered also by other manufacturers. We have a lot of basic functions available, all kind of filters, VCOs, envelope generators and so on, but there are from other manufacturers a lot of functions we do not offer. For example, very complex sequencers. We also have sequencers, but only standard like analog step sequencers or trigger sequencers, and also other functions are available only from other manufacturers. But I think that's it's very important that all these the modules of all these manufacturers are compatible, so you can combine everything.
The standards that your company has created.
Yeah. So if you have, if you are looking for a function which is not available from manufacturer E, you look to manufacturer B and C, and somewhere you will be happy and find what you need.
That's one of the beauties of it. Could you show us some of your modules that you're particularly fond of?
Yeah, I have it patched now, but what I really like, for example, are the BBD modules. Let me see. This is, for example, such a module. It uses old-fashioned circuits, so-called bucket brocade devices, which are used many years ago for delays and flangers. We also use it in modules, but we added a lot of functions. We use it, for example, out of specifications, which causes very strange sounds, and we have voltage control over the delay time or so. This is one of my favorite modules. And I also like the, I don't know if I have it somewhere. Well, I don't know if I have it here. It's the waveform multiplier. It's also one of the modules I really like. And I also like the trigger sequencer, because it's so easy to program and so easy to understand.
Could you show that to us?
Yeah. Well, this here you see the trigger sequencer. You have an interface which is a little bit like the Roland TR-808, but you have it 8 times. If you have not only one row, you have 8 rows of triggers, and you can simply set and reset at each position the trigger, and then you have the trigger output, which can be used to trigger a drum, for example, or also something else. Maybe I can hear something, but I'm not sure. this example, the first four tracks are used to trigger a polyphonic sound. I have 4 VCOs, which are processed by 4 VCAs, and you can turn on and off each of the VCOs individually. So now we hear only this one. I take the control voltages from for the VCOs I take from a keyboard, but I trigger everything not from the gates coming from the keyboard, but from the trigger sequencer.
You know, I've always been struck by the audio quality of Doepfer synthesis. Is there something unique about your circuitry that makes it sound so good?
Not really.
It just does.
I don't. In Germany, there's a word. I'm not sure. We all cook only with water. Everybody cooks with water. So, to speak the truth, there is nothing special in there. No, not really.
What is this series of dark energy, dark time, dark energy? What is this? What are these?
Dark time is a sequencer, and in this example you see the sequencer dark time in combination with 2 dark energies. Dark energy is nothing but a compact analog synthesizer. It's just if you take the basic modules from the module, like a VCO, VCF, VCA, ADSR, 2 LFOs, then you obtain the dark energy. It's for beginners who do not want to start with modules. They want to have a already built unit. Yeah. So you can also obtain the same functions with modules. Right. But if you start, it's much easier to take such a pre-patched instrument.
Well, it's wonderful to speak to you. It's wonderful to see your products here at NAMM once again, and thank you very much for being on the program, Dieter Doepfer. And where can people find out more information about your company?
Of course, we have a website. It's Doepfer.de, Doepfer.de or .com. Here you find all the information about our products.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.